So, with these missiles in Cuba, our next question is okay, Kennedy, you are leader of the country. What are you going to do? So, Kennedy is going to open up a book in any traditional successful military strategy, and he's going to create a blockade. If you remember, a blockade is essentially that we are roping something off, saying that nothing is going to get in or out. So, Kennedy is going to announce a naval blockade around Cuba to prevent the arrival of any additional Soviet weapons. So, we recognize Cuba. We spied on you. We know y'all have missiles, so we're going to make sure the Soviet Union can't bring y'all any more. Kennedy is also going to threaten to invade Cuba if the offensive missiles were not withdrawn. So we blockaded all of Cuba and said, get rid of these missiles now. So that is Kennedy's naval blockade. So here's the thing. Remember, Cuba, it has a deal with the Soviet Union. So Castro and Khrushchev are BFFs. So we make a deal between Khrushchev and President John F. Kennedy. So let's talk about Khrushchev first. Khrushchev says, listen, I'll withdraw the missiles from Cuba if you promise the United States will not invade Cuba because Cuba's our new BFF and we want them to stay communist and to be our ally. President JFK says, you know what? I'm feeling nice today. So, you know what? I'll agree to that and I'll even make a sign of good faith and I'll pull our missiles out of Turkey because the United States had missiles in Turkey ready to get the Soviet Union. So, again, this is going back to the Cold War where it is a chess tournament, guys, that we are going between Khrushchev, Kennedy, and the presidents before that. We are going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, all the way from 1945 till 1991. But remember, this is the Cold War. So this is just negotiations and things like this. It doesn't actually turn hot. But again, as we are going through this time period, we don't know that it's not going to turn hot. It could turn hot at any moment. We only call it the Cold War because we're looking on it with hindsight, looking back at what actually happened in history. So we start trying to ease tensions between Kennedy and Khrushchev and hopefully try to get towards the end of the Cold War. So, but you guys know it's going to be a little bit longer before the Cold War actually ends. So there's two agreements that is created between the United States and the Soviet Union. Number one is the little red phone, which is the direct hotline between the White House and the Kremlin. The Kremlin is the center of the Soviet government. So there's going to be a hotline between the White House and Kremlin so there can be some sort of communication because as you guys know, communication can often ease conflict. So there's going to be an open line of communication between the two nations. Number two is the signing of the Limited Test Ban Treaty. What this did is that this called for an end to all nuclear tests in the ocean because as I showed you a video in a previous unit, is that's where a lot of the nuclear tests took place. They banned them in the ocean, the atmosphere, and in outer space. By the end of that year, which it was an agreement that just started between Kennedy and Khrushchev, 113 other nations had signed that treaty. So that is going to be where we are going to stop between JFK's presidency and the issues of Khrushchev and the Soviet Union.